according to the Mac.
What's up, guys? We are live.
You just snuck that in. It's like boop.
Yeah, we're like a few seconds early. If you're not early, you're late.
Be chair, don't care.
No, good point. So anyway, yeah, here we are.
All right, take 2 of the live show. We'll just pretend
we really need to work on the beginning of our shows. We do not.
Yes, you do.
What?
I'm ready.
Why do I do? I think I do pretty well with it.
You would, because you're the doer.
Well, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, it is Monday, May 1st, the beginning of May. Cinco de
Mayo.
No, wait.
No.
Uno de
Mayo.
Uno de Mayo. Whatever. I can't speak Spanish.
Oh, Prof, speak Spanish to us.
I know. So today's show is for you guys, really. We were like, hey, what are we going to talk about today? And we realized, I'm going to move that out of the shot because it looks retarded. Because we don't have a great show topic today. We do have a few things we're going to talk about, but we thought we would throw it out for some Q&A. We just got through the month of April. How many in the chat had a great month of April?
Crickets?
We're not raising our hands. So, yeah, there's that. It was, April was tough, don't you think? I mean, April showers brings crap. Not even Mayflowers. It was just crap.
You just like to say crap.
I do.
But yeah, so April's behind us now, almost. We're doing our month-end reports, whatever.
Yeah. And
May is a new start.
Yeah. And it was weird. And it was strange, too, because this weekend for us was really busy. We had like 26, 27 items that sold over the 2 days.
It was crazy.
Crazy, yeah. We sold a bunch of shoes.
I thought you were going to say some bunch of stuff. Shh.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't say that. It's a weird day.
We didn't say that.
Jeez. Yeah, right. We never say that. But, you know, May's coming. So now we're into a new month, and I feel like we can sort of start afresh. I guess you could start fresh every day, right? It doesn't have to just be a month like that.
I think too many people get hung up on, you know, I'm going to start tomorrow. Or, you know, New Year's, like we talk about why we don't have New Year's resolutions all the time. If you want to do it, just do it. Do it now. Don't wait for tomorrow.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's arbitrary to wait for a specific day or week or month. I mean, it's just arbitrary. And, you know, sometimes if you do that, you set this goal of saying, well, I'm going to start on June 1st. I'm going to start July 15th. I'm going to start whenever. Then that day gets there and other things have come along and you're not starting.
Whether it's reselling, whether it's your significant other and things that you want to do together, whether it's a diet. I mean, especially if it's your health.
Right.
I mean, why wait? So it's May 1st. Look out, Jack.
That's right.
A lot of things are going to just start happening today.
But, you know, but it is good to reflect, I think, on your progress over whatever period of time you want. And month end is kind of a natural time to think about that, at least your progress, your opportunities for the next week. So a couple things we want to discuss. And by the way, guys, if you have questions, this is a Q&A show, so we'll see what happens. We'll go for 30 minutes-ish. And so if you have questions, just type them in the chat, type the word question, type a few question marks in front of your question.
In other words, make it obvious because we're looking at the iPad to get the questions.
Right.
So if you want it to stand out, make it stand out. We'll catch it. We'll answer. We'll move on.
Right. So we went to yard sales for the first time this weekend.
First official yard sale extravaganza.
How do you think we did?
I think we did awesome.
Yeah, Karen sent me the numbers. She likes to keep track of the numbers as we buy things.
No, be clear. You like to keep track. So instead of us having this guessing game when we get home, I've started keeping an ongoing note.
Well, that's true.
Because it's like before we even have a chance to put something in the car, we're off to the next yard. So yes, I channeled my inner prof and I did. I kept notes so that he would know exactly what we spent and what we spent it on.
Yeah, so here's what we bought, guys, and what we spent. We bought 21 items, and we spent $54. We were out for probably three hours. We estimated we stopped maybe at 30 yard sales because it was one big church sale and then a couple community sales.
The church sale is my favorite.
Yeah. So it wasn't bad for 3 hours. Our average cost was $2.57 an item.
Mm-hmm.
We bought 10 pairs of shoes, which was great.
Yes.
I was really happy about that. 7 pairs of jeans, a camcorder, a gnome.
Little Tom Clark gnome. It has a J on it too, so maybe we'll just keep it.
I don't know where he went.
I put him in the box
with
the other stuff.
A tripod and a point and shoot camera new in the box.
An old Canon Owl. I mean, it's a new, but it's an old. It's a great little point and shoot. It's the one with the bigger viewfinder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was a good start to the yard sale weekend. A couple questions here came in. Drummer said, have you been trying new platforms? Not really.
If anything, we've been scaling back. We sell less on Amazon than we used to.
Funny thing is, I just canceled my Amazon Pro subscription because I wasn't really sending in enough and selling enough through each month to really make it worth it. I mean, they basically saves you. Basically, once you start selling more than 40 items a month, you start seeing some benefit for it. And while I was selling, a decent amount, I was just like, man, this is like really close, and it's just one more expense I don't think I really need to have. Let's see, what else was there? There was another question here too I missed.
I had mentioned somebody asked us in one of the question threads about Etsy, and Ben and I are actually going to look into Etsy with some of the handmade things that we do. So at some point we'll talk about Etsy. Yep. We also sell on merch. We sell T-shirts on Merch by Amazon.
Right.
So I guess technically that's another one as well.
Yeah, and we just got our first little payment for those, which was cool. Wasn't very much, but it's a start.
Well, in what, a month and a half, we sold 12 shirts.
Yep, it's a start. I mean, there's some people who go a lot longer than that. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we were fortunate to sell that many.
I'll take it.
Yep. Darren Eckelman asks.
That's Heckelman.
Heckelman says, why are jean prices so spread, i.e. Levi's? Just what people want.
And I mean, diversity of people too. I mean, you've got people selling for 99 cents, something that someone else is selling for 50. It's just how it all.
Yeah. I mean,
sometimes people don't know what they have.
People to me will pay more for two things, in my opinion. They'll pay more for quality, and they'll pay more for a brand that has name recognition. One of those you could argue is very, utilitarian. It's like, well, this is a better quality than that, so it's going to last longer. It's going to do a better job. I'm going to get more out of it. But when you're talking about fashion, that gets a little tricky about with quality. I mean, yes, there are quality differences sometimes, but ultimately it's something you put on. So it kind of advertises you to the world and covers, your body. Obviously can keep you warm if it's that type of clothing, keep your feet dry if it's shoes maybe. But sometimes it's just a style. It's a brand. So it's a look you're going for, right? I mean, why do we brush our hair? Why do we put on makeup? Why do we wear shoelaces, instead of slip-ons? I mean, there's all kinds of questions like that when you really get down the surface, like they just kind of define who we are, I guess.
I really hope you're not putting on makeup.
I'm not putting on any makeup lately.
As a consumer, though, and I think he brings up a great question, because as a seller, we're always perplexed when we go to put up our own items. How much are we going to sell it for based on what the current market is showing, plus comps of solds. And sometimes, a lot of the things that we sell with the jeans, Mr. Heckelman, and it's a term of endearment, by the way, long story. But a lot of what we sell pretty much radiates around the same price, especially with the Levi's, right?
Right.
As a consumer, especially with Amazon Prime, I always went somewhere in the middle, because how they had the staggered, for individual sellers on books and used books in particular. You didn't want to go to the highest, you didn't want to go to the lowest. So, I mean, I hope that helps at all. We don't have a definitive on that. It's just, as there are varied personalities and business models and experience and how people present things. I mean, I think that's.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about consumer buying behavior, and it's complex and it's simple all at the same time. And the better you understand it, the better off you'll be at pricing your items and figuring out what to sell and for what. Someone asked if we put thank you cards in the package with our items.
I do. He does not. I also put stickers on the outside that say, please give me a high thumbs up star rating.
Right.
But
I put that on the invoice. I put, hey, please consider leaving positive feedback.
Yeah.
Unless you have a problem with it, and let us know. We'll try to fix it.
We do put it, that's something that we do. We put a packing slip. And remember, we've got two different models here, the Prof model that we both work on, and then the one newbie model that I'm trying to launch. So I'll be a little bit more experimental maybe. Jason used to handwrite thank you and and sometimes I would pretend to be him and sign it too. But it was just, it was just another thing that we sort of trimmed the fat off of, if you will.
Yeah.
But we do, you have an opportunity in your packing slip note to put a note and, say what's what and say, we appreciate it. If you have an issue, let us know, give us an opportunity to make it right. And I think that's pretty standard for most sellers, whether it's a sticker on the outside or just text on the inside of that packing slip.
Totally agree. Let's see. Another question here. Swimmerization.
Oh, that's a cool name.
Ask, have sourced instead of my eBay account, is it better to list lower price items to start, or I have found some high price items that frequently sell well? I have no feedback on eBay. That's a great question, actually.
Oh, can I suggest something too?
Sure.
So swimmerization, have you bought anything off of eBay? That's a way to get history as well.
Right, but it's history as a buyer.
But it's still your history. I don't think it differentiates.
Yeah, it does.
It does?
Yeah, you can see as a buyer, as a seller, feedback.
Oh, all right.
However, someone may not look at that.
I don't.
Right. But no, it shows it broken out. But I would say in terms of lower price or higher price, I'm not sure that's the right question or the right way to be thinking about it. I think if I were you, I would think about it more, what do I know about this item, this market, this niche, this category? Because if you're going to sell something that has any sort of complexity to it, or a chance that it doesn't work, or it's not going to meet up to somebody's standards, you need to kind of know that and disclose it. That will get you an item not described. That will get you a return quicker than anything. Hey, they didn't take a photo of this big mark. Hey, they didn't mention this part of it doesn't work, or this was like this. That is more important, I think, than the price of the item. I guess you're probably asking there, do people try to put one over on new sellers more with higher or low price items? I had somebody do it with a $6 puzzle at one point. So it doesn't matter, like the price of it as much. I mean, you can run into a buyer like that, sure. But I would be more apt to be able to, you know everything about the item and you accurately disclose its condition.
Oh, I've got something to add since, I hang out with newbies more than you so much. But something that's been really a hot topic on Facebook groups and et cetera is the 99-cent auction thing. Be careful. If you don't want to sell, if you're a new seller and you're trying to get sales and you put it up as an opening bid of 99 cents, don't do that unless you're prepared for someone to pay 99 cents for it. I mean, a good rule of thumb is to start it at what you're reasonably willing to accept. That should be your starting bid, because I can't tell you, especially lately, it's been going on. I remember reading before, but it's something that's been happening a lot and people are getting really frustrated. Try not to do that because if you don't want to get 99 cents, don't do it.
Right. Agreed. How do you authenticate the clothing you source? That's my one concern about sourcing from the bins. Well, I think, all right, this is probably blasphemy in the reselling community, but I'm just going to say it anyway.
Is everybody sitting down?
It's not that bad. Most items are not fake. So, I mean, this is a consumer economy and where a lot of items are bought and sold and donated and given back and traded around. And most of them are not fake, guys. There are a few brands in certain categories and so on you have to look for. But if you went into like the bin store and you just tallied up all the items that are in there and they went through there in the course of a year, I'd be very surprised if 1% of them were fake, if it was that high. I really would. Not saying there aren't some. There are. And there's certain, like in jeans, True Religions and Diesels have a history of being fake, especially True Religion. So I'm always more cautious with that brand. But I just don't think there's nearly as many fakes as we make it out to be. We focus a lot of attention on them when we find them, but we forget about all those tremendous number of items that we find that are not fake, because we just expect that to be the case. We expect them to be legit, so we don't focus our attention on it. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where like you focus your attention on what you think is important, but it's really not that. It doesn't happen that often. So anyway, that's my take on it.
Some shoes too. We talk a lot about some shoe brands, like the
right.
We have sort of a family running joke every time we go to a yard sale or a Goodwill, especially the Love case. How many times does Ben tell us? Probably 99 out of 100. Oh, those Air Jordans, right? Those are the ones?
Right.
Oh,
right.
Those are fake. Those are fake. Those are fake.
Every time.
We finally found one pair the other day, and we bought them without his consent. And thank heaven he came in, and I was like, oh, how about these, wise teenager?
Right.
And we actually did it all right. So
right.
There you go.
So anyway, let's see what else is here. I probably missed a couple other questions, and I'm sure I did.
I could sing Phenomena.
I know, right?
Because everybody loves it when we just do nothing.
Man, I feel like I missed one and now I can't find it. Oh, I'll find it in a minute. Deborah said she had a question about the spreadsheet she got over the weekend. Deborah, you can email me at profsales44@gmail.com, profsales44@gmail.com, and I will be glad to answer your question. It's probably me. No, not necessarily. Could be you. It depends on what you're trying to tell it to do.
And see, I always take the opposite approach. It's always him. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, and Lauren says she sees a big surge in fakes in the last 2 years. But again, I'm going to say it's a little bit of confirmation bias here, because if you're hypersensitive to that issue, you're going to be looking for it. And when you find it, you're going to remember it. But you're not really tracking all the times that you don't find it. And you find things that are, you know, fine. I mean, I would not get into categories that have a high incidence of fakes and whatever you want to call a high amount. I mean, there's lots of great items out there. We found it was funny, not talking about fakes, but there was a lady at the yard sales this weekend. Remember with the shoes? You want to tell that story? So, I don't know if they were fake or not. It was just funny.
So we sort of, and we didn't really talk about our approach. Like the three of us went out. One of us, the teenager, was more interested in things for himself. So when I say we divide and conquer, it's more the two of us. You take the left side of the road, I take the right. But we walked up, and our targets are, for the most part, shoes and jeans or shoes and denim. And you're over there looking at the rack of clothes or whatever. And I noticed that she's got some shoes with the boxes over to the right. And I said, oh, I see you have shoes for sale. You know, are they, how much are they? Are they individually priced? And she said, they're $50. And I said, each? They must be special. And she said, well, I paid $200 each for them. And your response to that was?
What they're worth is not based on what you paid for them.
No.
And what you think you're entitled to. And that was just funny. It was like that mindset was, I paid X, so I'm only willing to give them away for some percentage of X, and that's what they're really worth. It's like, no, they're worth what someone will pay you for, pay for them. And there was, I mean, I'm not saying you can't ever sell a $50 pair of shoes at a yard sale.
But we're never going to buy them from you.
Right. They would have to be super valuable on, you know, the secondary market. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And that's not what people who come to a yard sale are really looking to find. Like, if she wants to sell them for $50, put them on Letgo, put them on OfferUp, put them on Garage Sale, put them on Craigslist, whatever. Meet somebody at a Starbucks and sell them. The random shopper who's going to come through on a yard sale, this is a community yard sale too, so I'm pretty sure they weren't like a separate listing. I mean, it's possible, but it's almost like you're trying to just guilt somebody into it. Well, look, I paid so much, so you should pay a lot. It's like, nope, that's not really the way it works.
It's not our fault you had to buy your kid, you know, name brand this every 6 months or name brand that.
I mean, you're talking clothing and shoes and items like that. It's rare that somebody's going to pay more than about $10 to $15 at a yard sale.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it never happens, but the amount of buyers are going to come through and are going to be willing to plop down $50 on a clothing item. I mean, who's going to buy that other than somebody who just really wants them, which is unlikely that person's going to show up at your yard sale that day.
Well, and that they're going to be your size.
And they're going to be right, because you think how many people are going to come to your yard sale in a day? Even if it's a big, you might get 50, 100 at the outside, maybe. Well, and one of those is going to like those shoes and they're going to be their size and they're being willing to pay $50 for them.
So the minute I run into that, and it was too early in the day, so it's not like we could say, oh, we'll give you $100 for all of them or whatever, because we were just getting started. She really thought she was onto something. And I will tune you out. Like if you have that much of an attachment, especially an emotional one, because I'm in therapy for that myself, the emotional attachments that we put on stuff. We talk about and joke about that all the time, but I'm done. I'm through.
Yeah. What do you remember what brand they were? Lauren was asking what brand they were.
There were some, Lauren, I'm looking over here as if Lauren's sitting there when we do our group with her, but they athletic shoes mostly. I think one was
but the $200, the $50 ones.
Yeah, no, she said that all 4 pair. I'm doing it again.
Oh, all 4 pair.
Yeah, there were 4 different pair of shoes. Like one was there weren't any Louis in there, but one was like maybe an Air Jordan. One was something else, and then there were 2 other. But they were Under Armour. One of them was Under Armour. I don't remember. So it would have been in her brain. I don't remember, a couple $100 for all 4.
Right.
And to give you where we were. Could we have spent time? Yes, but that would have kept us in my brain from the next one. And where we had just come from a house in the same neighborhood where I got some Lucky Flats and some, what were those, Asics something tennis shoes?
Yeah, just basic Asics.
But we had bought like 4 pair from the golf shoes. We had bought them some really rad golf shoes. That we spent $4 there, $4 for 4 pair, and here they were $50 a piece. And at some point, we'll get there, but not on the first yard sale day of the season. I mean, maybe somebody else wanted to spend time going back and forth. That's not my MO. Like if I can't hit it, and no, I don't want to say that, but you know what I mean? Like if I can't go there, do it in a short amount of time and then be on to the next one. I don't have the patience. And
Lauren says, some shoes might be worth $50 to flip them on eBay for $200 or more. However, these were probably $200 new. So my rule of thumb is they're not going to sell. If I don't know the brand or I don't know the specific, my rule of thumb is they're usually not going to sell for maybe more than about 25% of what the new price is. There are some exceptions. I get that. But just going off of just a basic rule of thumb. So when she says that they're already at that price, 25% of what they would have been new, like there's no room for me to negotiate.
Right. And we should tell her another thing, Lauren, that she said, and it's for me really the real reason I just kept walking, was anybody that says, oh, but I paid $200 and they've only been worn.
It's emotional.
Wait, they've only been worn once or twice. Yeah, no, I doubt it.
It's like we're having to subsidize her high price that she paid.
And I never buy it. Like anybody, it's rare that someone says, oh yeah, I only wore them once or twice. I know girls and shoes maybe, but in this case, I could see the bottom of the shoe and it wasn't a once or twice deal. So immediate, like there were all these things adding up and I'm like, okay, you just priced yourself out of this sale and I was moving on.
Yeah.
I hear you though. There could have been, but not in that instance.
Right.
And when we're in the most certain neighborhoods down here, when the seller's nose goes up, my face goes down and my feet keep walking. I can't do it. I just can't. I'm like, keep your shoes. I'll keep my money. I'll give it to somebody else.
Yeah. There was one couple who didn't really have a lot of stuff for their sale, but they had a couple nice pair of jeans. It was like a pair of AGs and a pair of 7 Fams. And I picked up the 2 pair, because I like to buy at least 2 items at a lot of sales because you get a better deal, I think, when you bundle. I mean, that's a tried and true tip. If you're going to buy more than one thing, usually you can negotiate a little better deal. And so I picked up the 2 pair of jeans and I said, how much for your jeans? And she said, 20. And I went, for each? And she's like, or what do you want to do? And I was like, I was thinking 10 total. And she's like, okay. All right. I'm like, here you go.
All right.
So $5 each. They were basically like $30 to $40 pair of jeans, each one of them. So good deal, and they were in great shape.
Well, and then Ben got
But people have no idea what they have.
Well, and we're trying to take advantage of that. We're trying to manipulate. What's the word?
I'm trying not to manipulate anybody. They're just trying to get rid of stuff.
We're trying to take advantage of. We're trying to maximize our profit too, Mister.
But I mean, what you really want out of a yard sale, to me, if I'm looking for the yard saler who just wants to get rid of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And all they're doing with the money is they're trying to justify their time spent doing it. Mm. It's not like on a real mathematical equation. They're like, if I'm going to sit out here for 4 hours, I want to make $200. So I can, go spend that on something else, or they'll put it in the vacation fund or whatever they're going to do with that money. But they really just want to get rid of crap. If they're out there to get maximum value for their items, we're not going to have any success at that sale.
I told you we should have had this stuff because now you have to just visualize. So this little Tom Clark gnome didn't have a price. I held it up and the man, just kind of tilted his head and he went, $1? And I'm like, okay. The camcorder that you bought is really sweet, and she wanted $15 for it. It's got 3 tapes, and honestly, it's worth.
And how did I get less?
Just for the tape, but I'm going to tell the story. So we ended up paying. You paid her $10 for it because it didn't have the instruction book. It was packed upstairs. She didn't want to go get it. So see, there's a little wheel and deal there as well. Yep. Ben ended up getting a new Columbia fleece and a Patagonia.
Columbia
and a Patagonia. There were 2.
Yeah.
And he ended up paying $4 for both. And he used the old, it's all I have.
I've only got $8.
I only have $4. I only have $4, sir. And then that's what
did he say it like that?
No, but that's how Oliver would say it.
Oliver Twist. I got you. So yard sales guys are a lot of fun, but they teach you a lot about, buying behavior and selling behavior. So they're a lot of fun to go to. You get to get out in the fresh air and walk around, assuming it's not raining or cold.
Yeah, we did get our steps on. And, we get the most bang for our buck at yard sales, I think. Not that we'd only pay $1 for a pair of shoes, but the majority of things that we bought were $1.
Right.
Each of those jeans were $1, I want to say.
Yeah, they're like $1.
And then the shoes were $1, like $1 question mark. We're like,
yeah. And I'm not gonna,
of course,
and I don't really haggle with people. Like if I got 5 items and they want $1 each, I'm not gonna haggle with and only pay $4, because to me it's like at that point I'm getting a really super cheap price on. Like I can't even buy jeans for $1 at the bins. They actually cost more than that. They cost more like about $2, $2.05. So on average, to get a pair of jeans for $1, I'm not going to haggle with somebody over that and try to rake them over the coals to spend 1 or 2 lower. If I was buying a huge, big lot of them, that would be different. But if it's only 3 or 4,
You're very fair. You're generous.
Yeah. I try to be. There were some other questions I missed too.
Oh, you should get them.
Krillin said, "Have you hit the estate sales yet?" We didn't, because we had too many good. I mean, we had this big church rummage sale, which was sort of good for us. It wasn't great this year, but last year was really good. So we definitely hit that. And then we had 2 or 3 big community yard sales right around us. I mean, there was just no reason to hit an estate sale.
Well, I mean, but we are, so to that though, we're trying, we just haven't, there wasn't one for us to go to on Saturday. And the couple that we've looked into that come up during the week just haven't, there was that one house that everything must go. But we don't want your flour.
Well, the lady that I bought the camcorder off of, they were moving, so they didn't want to go unpack the instruction booklet. And I told her, this is what I came up with. I said, it didn't say the model number on the camera anywhere that we could really find in the moment. She couldn't either. And it was Panasonic, and I'm sure it's there somewhere. We just, the gobbledygook on it.
It's on the inside of the battery.
On the battery case, but more so, it was just, hey, I don't have any way to know how to operate this thing.
Ka-ching! We'll take it.
Right. So instead of $15, it became $10.
But yeah, so we are going to them when we find one we want to go to. Agreed.
Yes.
Estate sales good.
Estate sales are great. I mean, no question about it. They are definitely on the plan for this coming month. So, one other thing we want to talk about too, we got hit with. I think Chad talked about this recently in a video, the multi-quantity listing bug.
Dun, dun, dun.
had a pair of golf pants. Was it golf pants?
Yeah. Like
Yes.
We had like a bunch of them. Let's say we started with
had a
like
pair of golf
6.
pants, and I had 2 of them or 3 of them of one size and 1 of them of a different size. I sold the one, and this was a quantity listing. So I like put up the quantity, I put up the variance. Like, all right, I got 3 of them that are 30/30s. I got 1 that's a 36/32. Sold the 36/32 a couple weeks ago. In that time frame, that listing expired, and I went to relist it. And sure enough, it relisted the 36/32 pair as having a quantity of 1, which I didn't know at the time because I still had the other sizes left, and sold a pair of it over the weekend, which of course I don't have because I'd already sold that size. And apparently this is a glitch with eBay. You have to be really careful with these multi-quantity listings when you have these variants. So I messaged the buyer, told him, I said, look, I'm really sorry this happened. This is a glitch. Can we cancel this order? I'll be glad to offer you 20% off of any item in the future in my store, as you know. And they accepted and I sent them the cancellation, and they accepted it.
Oh, good.
So
good. So just note to self, don't put all your faith in just that relist quantity variance thing. Go back and make sure that the quantities match up, because we actually had at least one other thing that we sell multiples of in different colors and such that we had to update as well. So yeah, it does not, it pulls in the old quantities, guys, when you originally listed the item. So then it's going to look like you have more of them than you have, which is which you may not even realize for a while. Like if you put there you had 10 originally and you sell 5, and then you relist, it's going to say you have 10 again, and then you're going to sell 5 before you run into a problem. You sell that 6th one, you're going to be like, I don't have this one anymore. Can't sell what you don't have.
Right. Well, you can, but
ooh,
not a good idea.
You can't ship what you sell that you don't have.
Yeah. Yeah, so be very careful with those multiple quantity listings, guys. And people are saying in the chat, someone said they should always be good till cancel. Yeah, that's probably a good idea, Deb. And I think my one is already like that, but I need to change a couple other ones. So just make them good till cancel and be done with them. That way you don't have to worry about that. We
just get so used to I think we just kind of,
I didn't think about it. I think I remember this issue coming up before. But it really sucks. Like it doesn't make any sense to me, because the listing has a current quantity amount when it ends. And you would think that eBay's database would be sophisticated enough to realize that and say, oh, you've only got this many left. So when I relist, it's going to be at that many. Nope. It reverts it back to the original amount. And you will be selling things that you don't have.
And in this case, we got lucky. It got canceled. No problem.
Yeah, somebody was saying too, better to make it a new listing each time. I'm not sure if that solves the problem or not, Debbie. Someone else might be able to chime in on that if you make it a sell similar, for instance, once it expires, maybe. But I think at this point, I think I might just go to the good or cancel with those and just be done with them.
Yeah.
The one item I have quite a few of anyway. I have like a few dozen.
And then we're getting more of those.
Yeah, we're going to restock on that item. It's like a replenishable, basically. So I'm going to just do that with that anyway and just be done with it. That's a great idea. Just make it good or cancel. And Deb says, no, it does not help to make it a new item each time, because it's just reverting back to your original listing. So good stuff there. All of my items are good or canceled. Yeah, we've talked about that too, but I think you do get a pop from relisting items or doing sell similars, it sounds like. So all right, guys, well, listen, that's 30. Man, that 30 minutes flew by.
33.
How did that even happen? So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave us a question or comment down below. We really appreciate it. What else should they do, Karen, if they like the video?
If they had a fun time with us this afternoon, please smash that like button.
Yeah, and we will be back at 10 tomorrow. I'll have a topic for you guys, probably some prof math, but maybe not.
Seriously?
Seriously. I'm Prof Sales.
And I'm Karen.
Good sales.
Good sale. Wait, no, once again. Who are you?
Prof Sales.
And I'm Karen saying good sales
to you.